An ABC News exclusive. Robin Williams' widow, Susan Williams, speaking out for the first time since his death last year. And Amy had a chance to sit down with her. Amy?
That's right, Robin. After more than a year, Susan Williams is breaking her silence, opening up in an emotional interview about her husband's suicide and revealing a previously undetected medical condition in his final months. She very much wants people to understand exactly what led to Robin's death and what made him the love of her life.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh, my God, it's early.
With his quicksilver wit.
My first day as a woman, I'm getting hot flashes.
And a quiet gravitas.
You don't know about real loss, because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself.
There was no role too great for the brilliance of Robin Williams.
Oh, man's love. These are what we stay alive for.
And yet his most extraordinary role was off-screen, as a family man.
It's the best love I ever dreamed of. You know, it's what I always dreamed of a love would be. It's just really based on just honor, love, respect.
Robin and Susan had a 7-year relationship, a happy and very private 3-year marriage. But on August 11th last year, life took a drastic turn. Susan left for work that morning thinking her husband was still asleep.
Rebecca, his assistant, came over and I said, call me when he's up or have him call me when he's up. And then she sent me a text. Said, he's not up yet. What should I do? And I said, wake him. And then she called me back.
What did she say?
I can't even, I'm sorry. That 20-minute car ride, I just screamed the whole way. Robin.
Did you get to see him?
Yes. I got to tell him, I forgive you with all my heart. You're the bravest man I've ever known. You know, we were living a nightmare.
That nightmare at its worst in the months leading up to his suicide. The 63-year-old was secretly battling depression, anxiety, and paranoia, which drove him to take his own life, hanging himself with a belt.
When did you first notice that something wasn't quite right?
In November of 2013, he had a little gut pain. Next month, it was another symptom. It was like this endless parade of symptoms, and not all of them would raise their head at once. It was like playing whack-a-mole. Which symptom is it this month? I thought, is my husband a hypochondriac? We're chasing it and there's no answers, and by now, we tried everything.
Some answers finally came in May that year when Robin was diagnosed with early stages of Parkinson's disease.
Did he ever do anything where you were afraid for his physical safety?
Yes. Yeah, July 24th. I was in the shower, and all of a sudden I saw him lingering at his sink for a while. Something didn't seem right. And I opened up the door, and there was blood. This towel was so soaked with blood, and he was just downing his head. I just screamed, Robin, what happened? What did you do? My best friend was sinking, you know? He pointed to the door, and I said, did you hit your head? And he nodded. His only response was, I miscalculated.
Did it ever cross your mind that he could be suicidal?
No. It was what was going on inside of his brain, the chemical warfare that no one knew about.
His autopsy later revealing he was suffering from a debilitating brain disorder, Lewy body dementia.
Lewy body dementia is a complex disorder with many different presentations. You can see very dramatic effects in thinking, emotions, and behavior.
Most people think your husband killed himself because he was depressed.
No. Lewy body dementia killed Robin. It's what took his life. And that's what I've spent the last year trying to get to the bottom of. What took my husband's life?
Was he losing his mind?
Yes, absolutely. And he was aware of it. He was keeping it together as best as he could, but the last month he could not. It was like the dam broke.
And in that last week, doctors were planning to check him into a facility for neurocognitive testing.
Was this Robin's way of taking control back?
My opinion? Oh, yeah. I think he was just saying no. And I don't blame him one bit.
Your last conversation with Robin, what was said?
So I was getting in bed, and he came in the room a couple of times, once to his closet, and he said, "Good night, my love." And I said, "Good night, my love." And then he came back again. He came out with his iPad, and he looked like he had something to do. And that was like, I think he's getting better. And then he said, good night. Good night. That was the last.
Today, while the world continues to remember Robin Williams for his iconic movies,
My favorite movie of Robin Williams was Robin Williams being a human being.
Not an actor.
Right. Best movie in the world.
And Susan told me that Robin was completely sober when he died and had been for 8 years. And she explained that they had been sleeping in separate bedrooms because he had trouble sleeping. That's a symptom, a classic trait of Lewy body dementia. You can see much more of my interview with Susan Williams tomorrow on GMA, where she talks about the legal battle that then ensued with Robin's adult children.
And all this time, many thought it was the depression that led to his
It was
death.
dementia, Lewy body dementia.
And tomorrow, you said the children?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Amy.